Somebody needs to make sure and turn on their microphone. My bad. Before we get started, I want to make sure and let all the city staff know who are here that worked on our parade this weekend. Good job. Anybody sees Josh Schultz out there out and about, please give him a good clap on the back, because my goodness, what a great job he did. That was one of the funnest parades that we've had in a long time. It was absolutely stunning how many people were in there. We was near the front. By the time we got to the back, we were 20 minutes back when we pulled up there, and there was still a long line, down to Bryant. So what an amazing thing. So all of y'all that volunteered, thank you. It was a big deal. All of our guys that came in did security and helped get everybody rounded up. It was awesome. Okay, first thing we're going to do is our call to order.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilwoman Finch.
Here.
Councilwoman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Tatum.
Here.
Mayor Childers.
Here. All right, let's stand and have our invocation. City Manager Hawk.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and every day. We ask that you bless, protect, and keep the men and women in our armed forces, all of those in our city employment, our police officers, our firefighters, and everyone that works so hard every day to keep the city of Del City moving forward. We also want to give a special thank you to you, dear Lord, for everything that you did to give us the amazing weather you gave us on Saturday so that we could have a wonderful time to celebrate our armed forces with gentle clouds in the sky and everything going right. So in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, number 4, public and council input. We're going to do our public comments. We have a total of 30 minutes allotted. Each person gets about 5 minutes and to address and let us know your thoughts. Anybody in the crowd want to step up to the podium and say hello? Make sure and let us know who you are and where you live and all that.
My name is Gilbert Pettis. I live at 4101 Prairie Lane. I'm vice president of the Midway Village Neighborhood Watch program. I'm here to address the council and the mayor about some issues that come up that I think that need to be addressed, or at least put the word out. In California, there was a lady that was charged with involuntary manslaughter because her 14-year-old son was on the e-bike and crashed into a 81-year-old veteran, caused injuries, and he died a week later. The thing is, in California, he has to be 16 years old in order to ride that bike legally with a motorcycle license. I wanted to know what we have in Oklahoma, or Del City, or whatever you want to call it, what our requirements are. That way I can let my watch patrollers know and pass it on to the other neighborhood watch patrollers. Also, there was an incident with some neighborhood kids. According to the email that we got, the 6 to 8 of them were out at night on a Sunday at 1:30 a.m. They were in a neighbor's truck, raffling through them. They got confronted. They started having words, and they went home. The police were called. The police approached the house that the kids went into. Supposedly, the mother denied it. But with the school letting out, I think we need to have curfews stated or shown that, hey, the city has curfews as far as when the kids can be out at night. I would like to see it publicized either in the city webpage or police webpage or something, what the curfew is. That's my spiel.
Hello, Walter.
Hello, Mayor Childers and Council. Walter Jacks, 4832 Kelch Drive. I just looked it up really quick out of convenience, apparently under Oklahoma law. There's an age limit. One has to be 16 years old or older to ride a Class C electric bicycle in Oklahoma by state law. Apparently Class 1 that's Class 3 e-bike. There's a Class 1 and a Class 2, and they don't go at such a high rate of speed. And there's generally no age restrictions on them. But for Class 3, yes, 16 years old in Oklahoma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next? All right.
Thank you. Ellen Cotillo, 4817 Southeast 19th Street. First, thank you for the parade. It was awesome. We had so much fun, and the pictures were just wonderful. We looked at them today. And as you know, I spoke briefly about the pet food donation pantry that's going to be at the Fire Station 1, set up with the fire chief. That's the what's going to be on a Facebook page. If anybody could share it, talking about that, about his page. I'm going to ask PD, anybody that I can get out there, social media, and print out flyers to pass along the local businesses to help get the pet food items. Once the boxes are filled, I'll be contacted, and then we're going to some church, I can't remember where it is anyway, on Sunny Lane, and have them distribute it. We're going to try this month, see what happens. Hopefully it works out, because we do not have a pet pantry, as everybody is aware of. Also, my husband and I are starting a website and a Facebook page to help, I can't talk, to help pets in need. Resources, a lifeline, a community. Claudia and I are working with things as well so that the pets do not go to the shelter of OKC. So we're working on that to get everything set up correctly. Maybe try to get donations as well so we can drive somewhere to pick up a pet. Crates for people if they find the pet. 3 dogs were lost this weekend, and we tried to find all 3 of them. But the posts weren't very good, directions weren't very good, no landmarks, and it was very sad. So we're definitely working on all that as well. Once that's up and running, then we'll let everybody know. But if you guys could please spread the word for donations, reach out to us so that we can help the pets. So, and this is Teddy, everybody knows. But that's it. Once again, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm tired too.
There you go. All right. Anybody else?
Ron McCall, 3403 South Woodford. I just want to back up what the mayor said and others that I've heard. I thought the parade went off fabulous. Definitely want to thank everybody that was involved, had anything to do with getting it set up and orchestrating it. I know it was a lot of work for some people, but a lot of fun for others, so yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Jackie Mooney, 4833 Daleview Drive, Dale City. There is a pretty good-sized chug hole at 33rd, just west of Vicky, there by the church annex, down the street from JD. It needs to be looked at.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? All right, we'll close the public portion of the comment guidelines. Any council input?
Yes, Mayor. In the past 2 weeks, we had a traffic accident that was over at basically Sunny Lane and 29th and Sunny Lane. And the vehicle, ended up basically going down the grass right away on the side, took out the AT&T pole with the 5G on it, snapped that pole in 6 places, hit the curb so hard on both sides of the street of Sunny Lane that took both curbs out. Concrete's thrown everywhere.
Wow.
And a little bit of knowledge is that we did get notified. Nobody really got to see it, but the vehicle called 911 and reported it to the police to come there. So we have numerous things that happen in Del City, such as our welcome signs being ran down, different places. I want to make sure that we have a mechanism in place to have the police, fire, ambulance, whoever actually goes to these accidents, to go and notify the city, probably the city attorney, or notify somebody of the accident with hopefully the accident report. And that would be one thing is definitely we need accident reports, no matter whether they want to do a report or not, for city property being destroyed. But this 29th and Sunny Lane, besides the AT&T stuff, and I'm sure they're going to be after their insurance company to get reimbursed, the curbs are going to cost at least $10,000 for Del City to replace, let alone all the damage to the properties up and down it. So again, if we can make sure that we have procedures in place for that. All right. I've had some requests for potholes as well over in Hartsdale that going down, starting from Corbett, and of course it's all throughout the neighborhood, and pretty big ones. And so as we're discussing the budget tonight, it's just that hopefully we have the money to go and get these things done, and hopefully we can take the time to get caught up on concrete streets with their potholes as well. And then finally I've heard more rumors, more stuff that the dog pound is full, and which is what I've found many times. And so if you're not like the first, they take like a few pets a day and turn the rest away that come in there. And so again, what ends up happening is people trying to do their good deed, save a pet from being hit by a car. They bring them down to the pound. They can't get them taken. And so what do they do with this wild dog that they didn't want in the first place? Let them go. They come to Del City. So I am much in favor of trying to go and still look at another city if that's possible for a pound. And that's it for me.
I had a constituent call me this afternoon, and I'm still getting calls on 15th and Vicky. Their complaint was 15th and Vicky going north and into the turn lane. And so they've noticed that there was numerous almost wrecks, and they're just afraid it's going to be pretty critical before too long, just for the fact that there's going to be a bad wreck there. Also, then had another constituent call about bulk trash. Apparently, the citizens aren't getting it out on the Monday of bulk trash. So when they put the bulk trash out, say on Wednesday or Thursday, it doesn't get picked up. So, but the bulk trash that's there for a month until their next bulk trash. Is there anything that we can do on that instance? I mean, if the city workers are out, if they see it, can they call in and have them swing back by and pick it up?
We are working on some solutions for that. We've had quite a few issues there. Technically, the rules that we have out there in place are that you put it out by the morning of, because you don't know what day we're coming down your street. So, 1 week we may start at the top of your ward, the next week or the next month maybe the bottom of your ward. Just depends on how our drivers get out there and get out and about. We do try to do the swing by when we can on Friday. If anybody's missing something, we come back on the Friday to finish it up, but it depends on all the other bulk trash that's there, because we have to go in order and pick everyone's there. So we are looking into some other options for that, but that's still one of those, we got to get that out there by the Monday when we can. If not, if code enforcement comes out there and sees the miscellaneous junk and trash past your due date, then even with the courtesy letter and the notice of abatement, It's about 15 days total, which is still not enough time for you to have the next round come by. So we really are trying to re-encourage citizens, please get it out there sooner rather than later.
True. But have you seen some of those piles? I mean, they're big. Also, we are having a garden work day at the community garden at Rotary Park, Saturday, the 23rd at 9 a.m. So we'll be doing some weeding and some cleaning. So bring your gloves and your rakes. That's it.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I would like to encourage all of our residents to get on our website and use our Frontline, so then that way we can start locating all of the potholes. We can field calls for potholes, and I know code does not have sometimes the opportunity to scan all streets for potholes. I think one of the best ways for us to really get a good hold on it is to have the community get on and can they add pictures, by the way, to Frontline? No. If we can at least have our community members to get on Frontline through our website and put in those addresses of those potholes. I know they will get to the correct people. So then that way, you know, we can start getting ahead of the game with that. Speaking about the accidents, I know that we have asked before in the past for that accident report to really see where these intersections are, to see how it is that we can start improving those intersections. If we have a lot coming, you know, in certain areas, that would be really nice for us to know, so we can also, again, get ahead of that. And yes, I'm sad that Ellen has already left, but I would like to say that we are really working on getting some of those chip scanners to try to get pets back to their owners. We're also looking into renewing and updating some pet ordinances. I don't think our pet ordinances are strict enough. So bear with us, but I know that that's something that we will be discussing on our study session coming up, is some new ordinances that we can start to apply that will help us and just have a safer pet community. And that's it. Thank you.
I'd like to reiterate everything that everyone has said about the parade tonight. I thought it was very successful. It's probably one of the best ones I've been into in a long time. I'd like to thank our Director of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Josh Schultz. Thank you, Josh. He put in a lot of time and effort into that. Also our PD, they did a great job. All our firefighters, Public Works. Public Works had gone through 29th and Epperly, power washed the area the day before, really cleaned it up nicely. They did a lot of work there. And especially Mr. Micah Unruh, who is the Street Department Supervisor. He was on it immediately and cleaned it up very nicely. I'd also like to call out Commissioner Adrian Soto on our beautification committee. The day before the parade, he went down on his own time and at his own expense and cleaned all the windows of the businesses on Epperly Drive. So kudos to Mr. Soto.
So can I add something there? I looked in our video cameras, and I was like, punched to the back room. I was like, who's out there washing our windows? I didn't pay nobody to do that. And then I found out it was Adrian. So I say kudos to him also. Thank you for bringing that up.
Also, I'd like to thank Micah Unruh again for filling the potholes at 12th and Sunny Lane. So thank you, Micah, if you're listening. And the last thing I'd like to address, Mr. Perez, who spoke about the incident, specifically about the kids in the vehicle. The reporting party on that informed me that that was a misunderstanding. It was not what it appeared to be. But with school out, I'd like to address the city manager to keep on the police department to watch for curfew violations because it's that time of year. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, And may I add one more thing? So on that 15th and, Vicky and 15th Street with the turn, the problem is that we've changed the procedures there. Is it used to be a right turn. In fact, there was no right turn on red, and the left lane was to go and make a left turn, and now it's been changed. We need to have a traffic sign, the white sign with right turn, and then the left lane being a left turn and a right turn. And then that way you automatically know. And in fact, maybe on that left lane with the left turn and this one, somehow put the I-40 westbound sticker on that one, that you need to be in the left lane if you're going to get onto I-40 west. And if you want to get onto I-40 east, you need to be in the right lane. So I think that's the problem. I don't necessarily know if we need to have Mr. Tatum's white flashing sign on it, but
I'm a proponent of that.
But it does work. His sign does work. And then the second thing would be is to start our dash lines to go and make sure that people realize that when they make that right turn, that there's 2 lanes making that right turn. They're already there. It's just trying to keep them, I think, wide enough and bright enough to help people realize that. Thank you.
All right. Item number 5, city manager's report, department reports.
Awesome. Couple of great things that have happened over the past 2 weeks since we last met our heroes. So the first one, did everyone get to see the video on Facebook of the Del City Stomp Choir? If you all haven't had a chance to see that, that was fantastic. Please go on to our Facebook page and take a look. The elementary kids came out and did an awesome job, lined the areas here, did some great different stomp routines and things for us, and even did one specific for Del City City Hall. So we were very excited to see that. So thank you for all that was involved in that. We really appreciate it. A shout out to Integris Hospital and Samantha at Integris, who invited us to Hospital Week last week. We all got to go out and kind of meet some people there and get some stuff from the food truck and communicate with them. So thank you for making the city and the first responders a part of that. We really appreciate that, and we greatly appreciate everything Integris does for Del City. So thank you for that. A couple of items that are upcoming. We have OG&E lighting on Bryant. We've had some people turn in Bryant Avenue needing some better lighting, updated lighting, changed lighting specifically for Ward 1 and Ward 2. We are going to be meeting with Kimberly from OG&E and her team on the 20th. So time frame is still kind of iffy. We're going to make sure we get that locked in, but you all will receive a courtesy notice of whenever we're meeting with that if anyone wants to attend. And this is just to see what kind of options are available to better enhance the lighting on Bryant. So that is a request that came from some constituents to Representative Fugate, and it got passed on to us, and we're going through that process right now. A reminder, this upcoming a week from today is Memorial Day, which we're very excited about. But a reminder, for Memorial Day, we are the government. The government is closed. So please remember that we are not going to be here next Monday. So for those of you that need anything from the city, please get it from us either Friday or Tuesday. We are very excited about that, but a reminder that City Hall and all non-essential services are closed for Memorial Day. That being said, of what's going to be open coming up, Eagle Harbor is opening. Kyle, is that right? Woo, we're excited about that. So the grand opening will be on May the 29th. It'll officially be open. We really appreciate the YMCA taking that on with us. And I do want to give a huge shout out to everyone that was involved working on that. Our streets department, our water team, CJ from Parks and Recreation. We are very appreciative of everyone who came in and put the hard work and dedication into getting the pool filled and ready to rock and roll for next week. So way to go on that one. And last but not least for the council, I want to let you know we have our first draft of the new Blue Peak franchise agreement that we talked about last Wednesday. We are working on that, and it will soon go through our attorneys, and it's not short, so sorry in advance, buddy, but it's coming your way soon. So that's where we are on the city side of things. Everyone has addressed the parade, but I do want to give a special shout out to Josh. The parade was phenomenal. The festival was phenomenal. And for the folks from Bill Eisenhower that are listening, the fireworks were fantastic and a great way to end the night. So on behalf of the city of Del City, thank you for everything all of you did. It was a great day for all. And you're here today, so that's even better, right? So you recovered. That's awesome. Okay, with that being said, moving on to our department reports. City Clerk, we'll start with you.
Okay, we have our sales tax report. Our sales tax was up $30,762.55. That is an increase of 2.69%. Our use tax was up $2,204.59. That's an increase of 1.33%. Our tobacco tax was up $188.97. That's an increase of 3.10%. And our hotel motel tax was up $4,540.20. That's an increase of 37.04% compared to this time last year.
Awesome. Love hearing that. City Attorney's report.
Nothing,
Awesome.
except go Thunder, and I'll meet the guy with the Spurs hat in the parking lot after the meeting.
Awesome. Director Hatfield, anything from Public Works? Okay. Yeah. Anything non-EDA related? Awesome.
Kyle Gandy, Community Development Director. So last week on Wednesday, we talked about the welcome signs. After that session, we went back and started working on updating all of our counts on the signs that we talked about. We talked about the main entrances. We actually have a lot more signs than what we kind of initially think about. We've got one at small parks like Edwards Park on Sunny Lane. We have a bunch of signs. So we're taking inventory of everything that we want to replace. We're starting with the entry signs. We're getting quotes on those. We're getting quotes for production and installation of the replacements of those. We took an inventory. Terry Humphrey is helping out with this. She went out and took photographs of all of the signs that we're focusing on right now. I'm going to recommend that we go ahead and pull down 3 of those signs immediately. One of them is at Eagle Lake, one of them is at 44th and Sooner, and the one at Patriot Park. They are in really bad shape, and I think it's better that we just pull them down now. So we'll be working on that this week. Hopefully we can have those down the next couple of days. We've not really started looking at all of the other parks, just knowing that we've got 18 parks in the city, all of which likely have a sign. So we're talking about many, many of them. We're working with 3 different companies right now to get those quotes. It's very apparent that this is going to be enough money that we're going to have to go out for an RFP. So I just want to set an expectation that that does add time to the turnaround on this. So once we get that RFP, I think we're all in agreement here. Let's do it right the first time and all at once. Let's not kind of just stick a sign in the ground that we're not all very happy with. So that's the approach we're taking on that. Any questions on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Idea and the plan is to get the entrance signs done.
Yes.
You brought up Eagle Lake and you brought that part up. That's the first part. Myself would like to get the entrance signs replaced.
Yes, and that is what we're focused
So
on.
let's not complicate things, because entrance signs are going to be much nicer. Flower gardens, this part, this. And it's completely different than a park sign.
I agree. We are ignoring the park.
So as you go down this thought of, let's tear down signs, now we don't have a sign. Now we're going to be talking about the RFP taking about 3 months, 2 to 3 months to go through. Why? And so again, we have had the designs, we've had the different things that lay out from whenever we changed our colors and our stuff. I mean, we have lots of ideas already. Let's finish, instead of making one project be so big that we can't get it done and then have the questions about, money, budgets, this, in a long period, we have the funds and the ability to get this done within the next 6 weeks. And so if we don't go and make this into some big, huge event.
I will work on it, yes.
Okay.
We will discuss it in the morning.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the Shine contract. We've kind of, over the years, we've seen that kind of ebb and flow. We're looking at updating the focus areas this year for the Shine contract. We're looking at adding north of 15th Street on Bryant, which turns into Delmar, to that contract area. Tends to be a lot of dumping of trash that happens there. It's not on the list right now, so we're looking at adding that. Are there any other areas that you can think of that we might be missing, that we might want to trade something out on the Shine contract for? Any discussions that,
I know we're going to be adding it to our right-of-way and easement areas, but anything that we can do for the getting off of the highways onto Tinker Diagonal and all of that surrounding area.
so those are
anything that we can
actually,
add.
those are on the list currently. And so one of the things that both CJ and I have wrapped our heads around is this isn't necessarily a voluntary or a volunteer organization, but it's treated almost like a volunteer organization because they don't know how many people are going to show up on a given weekend or at a given event. And so that's part of why this is a difficult thing. We can't add them to what would be considered critical items. So those are actually on the list currently, all of I-40, the entire I-40 corridor, and it still looks like that. So that's why we're looking at what's on the list. What can we remove from the list and get a bigger impact in maybe a smaller area instead of saying the entire I-40 corridor. So we'll concentrate on maybe the entrances and the exits at Del Mar, just trying to kind of pare this down to be not so broad. Is there anything specific that anyone wants me to look at
So
adding?
is Bryant, 44th and Bryant, the 29th already on it?
44th and Bryant.
Bryant is the problem because that's right down the street from the trash dump, landfill.
So we can look at adding that end of Bryant to this also.
So please do that. The question I've got is have we gone and actually reviewed the effectiveness of this? We've sent them to the community garden, and that turned out to be a bad deal.
But it's not always bad because they do pick up trash, they do weed eat. But usually before they ever get to the community garden, they've been to several other parks and picked up trash and done some maintenance work there. So if they hit, 3, 4, 5 places when they come out?
It really depends. We do monitor that every week. We get a report on where they were, how many hours they spent, number of man hours that were spent. And last year, it was slightly better than break even. This year has been a miss year. We haven't exactly seen the man hours we would like to see. And so that's part of why we're looking at the contract, wondering if perhaps it's overwhelming to look at the area that we've kind of given them to look at and trying to concentrate them more. So it's not.
Have they told you that there's a new supervisor now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And have we had discussions with Commissioner Mon about about not having a good year? Because I don't see, if this isn't working and effective, then we could spend that money better, more wisely on, having a private company go and do that.
And that has been discussed. We probably need to have some more discussion about it. With this being an off year for the Shine contract, it has been fine in the past. I think with potentially the change in management, like has been discussed, there was a transition period there. So I think there's some discussion to be had on whether or not we want to look at canceling that. We may be taking a different approach than what you guys may want of us.
So can we test them between now and the end of the contract? Is the contract going to end in
it ends July 30, or June 30.
June 30.
Yeah.
So why don't we test them and give them show them the expectations, contact the commissioners and tell them that, hey, we know that you guys would like to continue this program on. We would like to continue this program on, but the effectiveness is going to have to.
We can have that discussion with them. All right, that's everything I have for community.
Okay, any other department heads before we move on to the fire chief? Okay.
Go Thunder.
Am I on? Okay. Well, thank you, Council. Z. Williams, Fire Chief. I would also like to commend the parade. Josh did an amazing job. Public Works, Micah, Police Department. I mean, everybody worked hard. There's so many moving parts on this parade that a lot of people don't see, and everybody did astounding. I do want to mention the new parade route was awesome. Just from an emergency management standpoint, it was so much easier than the years before on shutting down all the intersections, the streets. I know police department would totally agree with that. I would also like to thank Bill Eisenhower at Sunny Lane for the great food, the fireworks. They were at our fire station. They cooked a ton of barbecue for everybody. It was awesome. The fireworks were awesome. So just on the fire department, I'll hurry up here real quick. We just completed our CPR class for citywide CPR classes for all of our employees. I take that back. We got two more makeup classes for people who couldn't make it. But we have an exciting announcement. We just promoted a new sergeant, Seth Shelton. He's going to be in front of y'all in a couple of weeks. Introduce him and congratulate to him. So we are accepting donations. Ellen is a tough cookie. She's at my fire department all the time for pet supplies and pet food. So we'll see how that turns out. We're going to start posting on our Facebook this week. So I know the city will probably put something out. She is very passionate about animals, so it's great. Just to cover our stats for the month, average response time for the month was 3 minutes and 48 seconds, which is well below national average. We responded on a total of 352 calls for service this month, 238 emergency medical calls, four fires. Really, other than that, not to bore you with like training hours and all that stuff. Severe weather is coming up this week, so everybody just be weather aware. We have a potential for tomorrow as well, so throughout the week we're going to be watching it, so just be aware of that.
Billy wants to know, are we going under a tornado warning like at 7:25?
Yeah, it's about
Something like that
7:20.
right about there, Billy? Is that what you need?
Yeah, I'll sound the sign.
Awesome. Thank you, Chief. And that's everything I have, sir.
Excellent. All right, moving on to number 6, consent docket, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the following items by unanimous consent. Number A, minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council of May 4th, 2026. And B, renewal of the annual contracts and/or agreements for fiscal year 27 presented to the council. Exhibit A, on file with the city clerk and authorize the mayor and city manager to endorse as required.
Make a motion that we approve A and B as written. And where does it say authorize mayor? Oh, and authorize mayor and/or city manager to endorse as required.
Second.
All right, let's take roll. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch. Aye. Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Motion passes. Item number 7, surplus and donate Motorola XTL 2500 mobile radios to the Logan County Emergency Management Mutual Aid Partners. First thing we're going to do is declare 14 of these mobile radios surplus to our needs. And the B is going to be donating these radios to the Logan County Emergency Management Fund.
Make a motion that we approve declaring 14 Motorola XTL 2500 mobile radios as surplus to the city needs.
Second.
All right, we'll take roll. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
You never know which way it's going to come from. Keep you on your toes. Make sure you're paying attention. Oh, mayor votes aye. Motion passes. Excuse me. Thank you for pointing that out there, Councilman Dean. He was. He's on it like a rat on a Cheeto. All right. Number 8, PUD and plat.
7B.
7B. All right, the discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny donating these surplus 14 radios to Logan County Emergency Management.
Make a motion that we approve the donating surplus 14 Motorola XTL 2500 mobile radios to the Logan County Emergency Management Mutual Aid Partners.
And if you'll also add, declare that a public purpose.
And declare it a public purpose.
Second.
We're adding a public purpose to be, got
Okay. Taking roll, Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. All right, motion passes. Now we'll move on to number 8, the PUD and plat for Sooner Custom Homes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve with modifications, approve, ratify, deny, or require additional information for request for a planned unit development PUD per the PC application of PC PUD 668-25 public hearing before the Planning Commission on January 30th and approved by the Planning Commission on January 30th, requested by City Planner Andrew Myers. Good evening, Mr. Myers.
Good evening, Mayor.
A quick note that we have for everybody, we have the meeting minutes from the last meeting where you all heard this on the Horseshoe available for you if you would like to look over those notes. And Andrew, during that time, the council requested a couple of items change on this PUD. Has that been shown in this item, or is it still identical to the one from January, February?
No, sir, it is not reflected as identical to the one that was shown in December. December 15th, I think, is the day that it came to council.
Okay. So all of that stays the same, and the only other item to make sure that everyone is aware that if item A does not pass, then item B would be null and void since the plat follows the PUD. And on that note, Andrew, I hand it over to you.
That is correct. So the applicant, Sean Amjad, is attempting to develop a PUD up by the Hidden Creek subdivision. That is about a 1-acre property. He would like to subdivide that into 9 separate lots in order to build shotgun-style housing. The request for the PUD changes basically the lot coverage from 40% to about 80%. And then the setbacks are the same. It's just the density requirement. In R1D, our density requirement is about 2.1 for 1 acre. And then in this one, it'll be 9 to 1 acre. And I'm open to any questions or concerns.
Andrew, I thought that the applicant was supposed to come back and bring us a different drawing with 8 houses on the lot as opposed to 9.
Yes, ma'am, we are not to that point just yet. This is just seeing if we wanted houses there, and then that whole portion for the development and actual building will come after that. We just want to make sure that we can actually do the houses first.
Okay.
All right, so is anybody here for?
Yes. The applicant is here.
Okay, so the problem with not having we're looking at both changing the zoning and doing a PUD. Are they both being voted on by this Section A here?
So the zoning is not going to necessarily change. It's still going to be R1D. It's just going to be with the PUD. The lot coverage is not going to be 40%. So the zoning is changing to a PUD, but not to like commercial.
Now the PUD is the part, if we actually approve that PUD, especially without anything further, then they have carte blanche to go and build what they originally were planning. So this is why this person, I have a constituent that lives in Stonehaven, and he had Stonehaven's a set of condos that's over on 44th next to the water treatment plant. And he had problems with his wide open streets, public right-of-ways, and so forth, but it's condensed housing, or basically extra housing that's in there. And his problem is that the bulk trash was not able to get down the street to go and pick up his trash. And he brings up some very good thoughts on this same subject that's going to be the same thing about this PUD. The PUD is going to be expecting to put 8 houses, 9 houses, trying to go and share a common driveway that's tiny, and then we're going to have multiple, at least 9 new families, or 8 new families, living in this very tight spot. So anyway, this gentleman moves into Stonehaven, and he thought that, he had equitable services in Del City, is what he brought up. And so, is that, first off, the fixed obstructions of his community really just makes it difficult for our rules to go and pick up bulk trash. And so we have the rules that you can't have a water meter. We can't pick it up around a water meter. We can't pick it up with an obstruction. The obstruction turns out to be the mailboxes. Now you got in between the driveways, you got 2 mailboxes splitting the spots to where they can't go and pick this stuff up. And so trying to speed this up is that the placement of bulk trash is dictated proximity of the water meter access hole, the mailbox, and the trash bins. There's effectively no open curb space. That's this. So then one of the thoughts is the real possibility is to, if he moves his car out, puts the bulk trash in his driveway. Now you can't get down the street because of all the cars there. All of these problems need to be considered before we would possibly go and start to look at this PUD. Once we do the PUD, game on. It is going to be, how are we going to go and do this? And the builder is going to tell us that everything's fine, but our services, the reason why we stopped initially is how are we even going to get fire trucks down this part? How are we going to go and have adequate fire trucks, police parts? What are they going to do with their normal trash, let alone bulk trash? And so this gentleman goes and says, an equity of service. If these townhouses are physically unable to participate in the bulk trash waste program due to their layout, I must ask why we're being charged for this sanitation one, with larger lots and fewer obstructions. And then, of course, there's code enforcement teams. There's a whole litany of problems whenever we don't send this thing through every department to go and ask fire. You go, why do we need to ask fire? We're only dealing with the PUD right now. We need to have fire be able to look at the layout of this PUD to determine whether or not they can actually go fight a fire down that street. So again, I just cannot fathom that we're even having any consideration to this if they haven't figured out what is the width of the driveway. Again, it's not a street, it is a shared driveway, and you're not gonna have room for all the cars. You're not gonna be able to, this is a nightmare from this point on forward. So hopefully we have many drawings, many stuff to show us, but I'm afraid that we don't.
So procedurally, I think at this point, the real question is whether you want to entertain and move forward with the concept of having a higher density area. So it's going from 2 to 1 to 9 to 1. So I think today, it really is a simple, yes, we're willing to go forward with that. That's entertaining the PUD, or no, we're not willing to make that change. Because the two things that are changing today are lot coverage and density. That's the only two areas that are on the table.
And that's where I'm opposed to this, because I was under the impression from the last council meeting we had on this that the applicant would be bringing us back updated information, but you're saying this is the exact same information from the last council meeting.
Yes, sir. It is the exact same information.
Okay. Do you know why none of this was revised for this council meeting?
Yes, sir. We are not to that point yet to get that information. We have not put any engineering drawings on or anything. This is just, do we want houses there or do we not want houses there? So he hasn't spent any money to develop those because we aren't ready there yet. We just want to make sure we can build the houses before we build the houses.
Tell me again about those changes. So we're going to a 2 to 9, so that's going to give us more grass space or more square footage?
So there's going to be less grass space because you're putting 9 houses on 1 acre of lot, and there's going to be more lot coverage. So there's going to be less grass space, less of a yard to take care of, but there is still going to be that 20 feet in the front, 25 feet in front, 5 feet on each side, 10 feet between the houses, and 15 feet on the back. So all of the setbacks and everything are still the same. It's just more houses on an acre.
And how many feet between the common driveway and the fence of the neighbors?
We are not there yet. They will have
You
at
have
least
to be
10
there.
feet.
That's the problem about this whole part, is you have to have that knowledge. If not, there's no way for us to have any clue about whether or not we should approve or deny having such an increased part.
Will they be coming back after, so let's say we do approve, And they will come back, and then they will give us some more clearer views and clearer ideas of what it is that they are going to be building, how they're going to be building it, and have more specific details on the spaces in between, and have more answers for our council about the fire and all of that. That would come later. We would still have to approve again. Is that correct?
So yes, the city would have to approve it, council would not have to approve it. So it's just a building permit at that point, so it would go to all of the departments. We go to a plan review, fire is there, sanitation is there, planning is there, building inspections is there. We go over everything, make sure it meets all the codes, make sure it meets codes. And if it does, then the building permit is issued, and we go from there. To answer your question, Michael, there are at least 10 feet between the houses.
And fire would be there, as well as sanitation, to be able to review what he has and make sure that they would be able to get in, get through. So their voices would be heard. They are going to be part of that meeting. They will be involved. And most of that is going to go through to the city manager. City manager will be involved in a lot of those meetings and discussions.
Yes, fire will be there. We can definitely invite JD to the plan reviews for sure. At the very least, we'll give him visibility.
Excellent. And this is to make sure that we do want homes in that area.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Attorney, when you approve this PUD, how can you, whenever it's already telling you what's going to be in there, that there's going to be 9 houses, that you're going to have a shared driveway, that you're going to have, in fact, the PUD, write-up is actually incorrect because it contradicts itself already. The PUD is already in a bad, is not logical. If we approve the PUD's approved. Is the PUD approved?
If you approve the PUD, you're approving it.
The PUD is changing. The PUD is approved.
The PUD is approved, and the 2 things are changing. I think the disconnect is that the council, potentially the council is asking for engineering that's going to be a substantial expense that they're not going to undertake until they have approval to move forward with the project. And you're not approving the project as it is, you're just approving 9 houses in that area. You're changing the density, the
And
coverage.
if there's no way to put 9 houses into that spot that we can possibly see.
But to me, that's a yes or no answer. That's what you're being asked to vote on today.
You're right. So really we need to be looking at, because they haven't changed anything. So 8's off the table. You have to be looking at, can you fit 9 2,000 square foot houses in 40,000 square foot of space?
As of right now, we don't know all of the square footage. We just kind of have an idea, and they're going to be anywhere between 17 to 2,000?
1750 to 2250.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Entertain a motion?
I make a motion that we deny the request for a plan unit development per PC PUD 668-25. And that's it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
No.
Councilman Finch. Aye. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. B on number 7, correct? On number 8.
Let's do it officially, just do no action on.
Do what?
Do no action on 7B.
Okay, no action on 7B.
Make a motion for no action on item B.
Second. Item 8.
I said 7B, it's actually 8B, I'm correcting myself.
8B. I think we knew where you were at. We have a motion and a second?
I'll amend it to 8B.
Second.
What's her motion? To take no action on item 8B.
All right, take a vote. Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Abstain.
Councilman Tatum?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 9, final plat. Request for the final plat for property encompassing 901 North Sooner Road, known as the Crutcho Creek Farms Edition. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve with modifications, deny, require additional information, request for a final plat for the Crutcho Creek Farms Edition. Per application plat 702-26. Public hearing from the Planning Commission, April 23rd, 26, approved by the Planning Commission on April 23rd. Any discussion? Are we looking for a motion? Any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve and authorize mayor to endorse the same.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
He needs to authorize mayor to endorse thing. Did you do that? Okay.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Finch, I don't know, did you say aye? Okay, I'm sorry. Mayor votes aye. Motion passes. Number 10, public hearing for the budget for FY '27. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny holding a public hearing regarding the city funds budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027, requested by our city clerk. Make a motion. Do we need a motion for discussion?
Actually, you just need to open the public hearing.
Okay, open the public hearing.
Okay, so I feel like there should be something official, like where we come down with the budget in both hands and descend the staircase, you know, like Moses coming off the mountain. But we have a budget. Isn't that what we're supposed to say? Unlike our federal government counterparts that go do it 6 months into the new fiscal year, we have to legally have ours done before July 1. So this is the official forum to discuss the everything that we've got. We should have a copy there up on the board if anybody wants to see it. And the first thing I want to alert the council to is your cheat sheet. As I often discuss with you whenever you call and I'm working on it, we have what's called the big board. This is the big board printed off for you so that you all can have a copy and see what it is we're looking at. Oh, see, I thought you were going to Vanna White it for us. That's awesome. There we go. Oh, I love it. I love the visual aids. So a couple of things to bring to your attention is where we are this year compared to where we were last year. So just to remind everybody, whenever we're putting these budgets together, all of the revenues that you see, which will be displayed in bold on the cheat sheet, and you can see them in the actual revenue line items and stuff when you get into your actual folders, all of the revenues, almost every single revenue I have is going to be based off of the 3 fiscal years that have already been audited and approved. So you're looking at fiscal year 23, 24, and 25, taking all the numbers, combining them together, averaging them out, and putting those items together. So you can see in the general fund all the different versions of taxes. We anticipate getting in $9.1 million in the general fund. As a reminder, general fund taxes are the 2% sales tax out of the 4.5% that we charge on all goods. 2% of that goes into our general fund, which is the revenue that focuses on City Hall, Streets Department, Police Department, Fire Department. So that is the main course, as it were. As you go down the sheet, you will see charging for licenses and permits, any intergovernmental fees that we get from mostly from our state agencies that send things down to us, service charges for the different items that we offer, any fines and forfeitures that come from our court department, and then we have our miscellaneous and our use of money and property. So if you go into your binders, you'll be able to see specifically what items we're talking about when you dig into there. But on the cheat sheet, you've got the basic versions of it. As you go down, you will see all of the numbers that you see in these codes, city manager, court, city attorney, etc. All of those are how much the departments cost minus our medical insurance. So as a reminder, the medical insurance did increase from $15,000 for personnel to $17,500 per personnel. And you will see that reflected under, it says transfer to Fund 16 for insurance. So for the general fund employees, we're anticipating 1.855 million just in our insurance costs, which is a significant increase from last year, which was in the 1.5 range. So I do want to make sure everyone knows that is the cost of the medical insurance going up, pharmaceutical costs being skyrocketing, for lack of a better term. And as you've been able to see on the news from other bigger cities, they're being hit even harder than ours. That is something that's going around everywhere, as I'm sure you all have seen at home with your own medical insurances and things of that nature. So in addition to that, you can also see in red the transfers that go out to the other departments. When you see the items in red, you can follow along and you can see which department it goes to or which fund it goes to. And then you'll see it reflected in green whenever the money hits their account from ours to theirs. So when you see the different transfers of budget, whenever you get your every 2-week notices from the city clerk as your backup documents to these council meetings, it just reflects what we have here. So you see when we get that money moved over from one space to another. So with this one, we're talking about the general fund, Fund 34 and 35, 34 being economic development, 35 being neighborhood enhancement. The biggest thing I want to alert everyone to, as you go down at the very bottom of your list, you can see very quickly in bold how much money we anticipate having left over at the end of the fiscal year. So with the money that we have to move into the general fund will show $19,000 in the positive if we expend and receive every dollar that I have projected. And as you go down the list, you can see each different department and each different funding source and how much money we think that will be brought in. So that gives you an idea of where we have funding and where we do not. Any funding that you see at the bottom is considered unallocated, and if we do not spend it by the end of fiscal year 27, that will be what flows into the following year as a savings, a reserve, a rollover. They have different names for it depending on what account you're talking about. But the long and short of it, I use the word reserve. Joe uses unappropriated fund balance. Depends on how technical we want to be. The biggest thing I want to alert you to on the general fund is we are working very hard to move away from taking the profits from the MSA. Unfortunately, we are not there yet, so you will still see that we have $1 million transfer in from the MSA's budget to the city council budget or to the general fund budget, and that is because right now the general fund is not sustainable as it stands. The general fund needs anywhere from $1 to $2 million to continue funding police, fire, streets, and city hall operations outside of what we receive in our sales tax. Yeah.
Where's the $1 million?
Very bottom of your sheet,
Okay,
transfer
the bottom.
20 hyphen profit.
And so this reserve balance is going to be what's left over in the general fund at the end of the year.
The 19,000 you see at the very bottom of it.
No, the 500,
The actual reserve fund that you see.
Right.
The actual reserve fund that you see is the final balance that was given to us to close out fiscal year 25, which closed June 30th of last year. So we are almost done with fiscal year 26. The audit should be back any day now for us to vote on officially, and it showed that we had $500,000 left over from the general fund, which it got placed in here, which was used to offset the cost of this year. So no, that gets expended. And what you see at the bottom, the 19,000, that would be the anticipated carryover from fiscal year 27 to fiscal year 28.
So my question is with the previous year where we took $1 million out of the DC, MSA, and put it into the general fund, did the general fund end up, we don't know yet. Yeah, whenever it ends the year and its fund balance has to be a positive, is that money then transferred to the new budget, or how does that?
Any money that's given to the general fund that's carried over, if it's not accounted for or encumbered, and we received, the bill 2 months after after June 30th is already over, after all those things clear, then yes, it does fall into a reserve balance or a savings for the general fund. It stays where it lands, It stays where it lands. So one of our examples, if you remember this time last year, we had to borrow $500,000 from our Neighborhood Enhancement Fund. We are proud to say we never had to activate that. Our sales tax projections were higher, or our sales tax received was higher than the projections, so we did not have to pull from that $500,000. So in that particular case, we didn't pull the money over because that was a loan to ourselves. It just stayed where it belonged, and we never had to pull that trigger, but it was available if we needed it. In this case, the $1 million, we anticipate needing it, and if in the event we get to the point where things are going well, Joe can either put a halt on turning the money over or sending it back at the end of the year, and that is something we will bring to your attention. We are hopeful at the end of this fiscal year. It does not look like we needed to hit all of the money out of the MSA. We're not going to be positive with that until all the bills come in and June 30th closes. A reminder, when June 30th hits, we have from July 1 to September 30th to make sure all the books are right, everything is balanced, and then we hand it to our accountant, followed by our auditor. So during that time, we will find out, and if any money can be returned, we would bring that information to you and let you all know at that time.
So we had talked about adding like 3 additional positions, possibly. Were those able to be added into this budget?
So some positions were added. In the general fund, it was very limited on what we could add because of needing the funding that we needed. But in the Economic Development Fund, the Activity and Events Coordinator is in there, who will also be assisting with grants and some other opportunities. We're in the process of building that job description. We do have another position opening up, a few in the MSA. One of them is the mechanic, specific to work on the water plant, wastewater plant areas and get those taken care of. We use not mechanic, I apologize, maintenance. There we go. The maintenance position has been opened up and funded through a combination of these 2 funds. So that one has been made available along with some other funds that we need, positions that we need in the water line and sewer line department to get them up to a better staffing level. The one thing I do want to make sure that you know, the additions to the general fund were an extra dispatcher. We used to have 9 dispatchers. We've been holding at 8 for over a year and a half, which has been a problematic time. So we do have an added on there. We're dispatch. I've also broken out the dispatch to have its own department code and division code instead of being built into PD. Oftentimes, whenever you see PD's budget versus fire's budget or the others, the PD budget is inflated by taking on the duties of the Public Safety Answering Point, PSAP as it's called. That has now been removed and set off to its own side. So you will probably see some budget transfers at the beginning of the year as we figure out, hey, this $150,000 the PD paid for, 75 of it should have come out of this fund, 75 from that fund. That way we know how much is going to be in the budget, so when we go for grants and other special deals, we have true and accurate numbers of what money belongs where.
For Parks and Rec, or some of these different spots, is there a possibility to look into a part-time jobs?
So we are looking at having some contracted positions. So right now, traditionally, Parks is funded out of general fund. Depending on how we work it and depending on what resolutions we would get passed by the council, there is a possibility to trigger money either out of hotel, motel, economic, or neighborhood enhancement to do one of those special things, whether it's a contracted employee or a full-time employee to work specifically in crew workers for the parks, crew workers for gardening, crew workers for whatever that may look like. So that is something that we started looking into today to figure out what kind of options are available to us.
And so I had brought this up just so that the council knows, I had heard some of the employees complaining about the actual pay that they have. If we go to a part-time position, then you don't have so many different benefits, retirements, different things that the actual person costs. And so if we do go to a part-time position, my suggestion would be is that we increase that pay appropriately above what the similar job would have, to where that you would have the encouragement to have people take that job and the city save money from the benefits. So that's one thing for us to be considering as a change to the city's operating norm.
As we discuss personnel, one thing you will hear me say often, especially to the department heads, the total cost of a human. And some of the things in that is whenever you do have a position, let's just say it pays $50,000 would be the position. At the bare minimum, it's an 18% amount to put into the pension system that we fall into, and then the $17,500 for the insurance. FICA still at 7.65, so all that has to get factored in. So it does bring that $50,000 position to 70, 80, 90,000 whenever all is said and done.
Does that even, if it's just a part-time person, does all that factor in also?
No, so if it's part-time, it would just be the city, however much we plan on paying or set to the side, and then I believe FICA, we still pay that. Payroll taxes is not my thing. I'll be happy to defer to Joe on that one. So, be advised, this is not the day that we're approving the budget. This is just my proposal to give you all to take a look at. I do want you to know it also includes one additional police officer. So we're trying to get to our numbers. So if this budget is approved and funded as discussed, it will include the potential for the medical cost increases that we have. It does include a police officer. We'll have 39 sworn officers plus the chief, so we'll be at 40. I know the highest we've been to in the past was 43. We're still not going to be available to hit that number yet, but we are working our way up and inching it inch by inch as we go.
I was wanting to bring one other thing up, which is going up, filling in the extra position is if there's another option to instead of filling in all the people that you have, a city, lots of corporations, lots of normal things, just thinks about it as that you don't want to have any overtime, that you'd like to have the employees to be able to cover everything, plus the sick time, the baby leave, the National Guard duties. You have all these different parts. One of the things that I was talking to the city manager about is encouraging the use of overtime to ensure that we have coverage or the ability to have shifts to be able to cover other shifts. So as we're talking about adding this other position in, that's another possibility. And I'd like, I don't know how everybody feels, how the union would feel, but we were kind of discussing with one of the officers, and he would love to have overtime. I don't know if that could be a possibility. So it'd be nice, if that possibility exists with the council, that we, breach that subject with with different groups. So.
I did have a question. Where does the animal control officer, is that coming out of PD?
Yes.
And I see here, so they're just going to be bulked into the salaries, it's not divided? Because I see here there's only $1,000 for animal control supplies. Obviously, that's just supplies, it's not the human.
Right.
Okay.
The human is under admin salaries, so that includes the chief, the animal control officer, and the property clerk.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
I would like to just bring up one thought for everybody is we're not allowed to talk about crazy ideas such as overtime or part-time amongst the council. So we are supposed to bring things up here. So it might be the stupid wrong thing to do. So please don't shoot the messenger or the guy who was thinking outside the box. Okay? So whether we decide to do it or not.
Two other items, anything else y'all want to bring up on the funding before I come up with a few? Two things I do want to bring up. One, you will see in Fund 519 under the general fund, drainage. One of the projects we are wanting to work on, we do have a full-time stormwater administrator. That's going to be Chris DeRoy, who was working on our line maintenance as a supervisor. He has graciously agreed to take on our MS4 projects and start working alongside Andrew and Kyle to get those things taken care of. So when you talk about cleaning up the creeks and doing anything you can to make sure the stormwater flows, that is something we're focusing on. So you will see a new transfer of putting money in from the MSA over to focus just on stormwater, along with the drainage fee that you pay on your water bills. So those two numbers will eventually combine, and that will be our actual full-time stormwater monies. Starts off slow with the budget being what it is, but that is a program we are hoping to grow. As you all are aware, we do have many creeks that need attention. We do have many pieces of stormwater infrastructure that could use attention. How was that legally? That worked out pretty well? Okay, so that is something I am excited to see. That is one new item that we built in that we've not been able to have in the past, is a full-time person dedicated to it. Over on the limited purpose sales tax, which is 03 funding, remember this is the temporary tax that is available to us. In addition to paying all of the debts that we have built in, we do have recreation, streets, and parks. And you see that money is set aside specifically for those areas. As the debts continue to come down, those numbers will continue to go up. So we do have money available there, which is taking care of like the YMCA project and some of these parks projects that you all are interested in doing. That is up and coming. So we are excited to see that. And the only other item I have for you is Fund 29. As I had requested during the study session, there's Fund 28 and Fund 29. I have removed Fund 28 in the hopes that you will be approving the ordinance that I bring you in June, which will close out the labor relations portion of the ticket and move all of that into police training, which, as I said, currently is sitting at about $4,000 a year, and it would be much easier to bulk that in with giving them more money for training rather than having that $4,000 set aside.
One last thing, you had brought up the drainage position, and you had said the MSA.
MS4, sorry, that's the
MS4.
permitted program, yeah.
But, so is drainage in the general fund?
Yes, the drainage is in the
Just like
general
streets.
fund,
That's
right.
that's what I was suspecting.
Yes, sir?
All right.
We just need to close the public hearing unless the public has anything they want to ask.
Any motions? Anybody want to add?
I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
That was a no, Josh. Sorry, buddy.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
All right, item number 11, disposal of records, finance and municipal court. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny disposal of records listed in Exhibit A of the council agenda item pursuant to Oklahoma Statutes Title 11, Section 22-131, requested by our city clerk, Joseph Carroll.
Make a motion to approve as written.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Item number 12, purchase of a 2025 Ford Police Interceptor Utility all-wheel drive and upfitting. This is a discussion and consideration, possible action to approve or deny purchase of a 2025 Ford Police Interceptor Utility all-wheel drive from Duval Ford in the amount of $46,730 and the required upfitting from Dana Safety Supply in the amount of $23,273.62, totaling $70,003.62. Authorizing the mayor and/or city manager to endorse any necessary documents. This was requested by our city manager.
So 2 items to bring up before you all decide on this item. I do want to make something clear. We do know that it is 2026 and we're buying a 2025 vehicle. We found one for a good price on the lot. The goal is to have this outfitted and designed exactly how it would be if the GO bond passes based on the voters. And this would be an item that we would take out completely decked out for everyone to see and go, this is an example of what you're going to be receiving with the 2027 model if the GO bond passes and approves by our citizens. So it'll be something that'll go out. Our community cop will be utilizing this. It can also be used for recruitment in some other areas, and then of course used in day-to-day ops as needed. But that is why we're requesting it by itself early so that we can have an example to show. Because one of the hardest things is whenever we're passing the GO bond and it's all, you know, thoughts and ideas on paper, and even similar pictures don't do it. So whenever we can actually take it out there and show people this is exactly what we're looking for, that'll be a step in the right direction.
Was there a large price difference between the 25s and the 26?
I want to say 20,000.
Pretty significant.
So
Why is it so expensive? Is that did we check the state contracts for 26?
yes. So we have state contract pricing for what we need whenever we buy the the 10 of them or whatever we're going to be
Right, but I
looking
mean,
for.
just, what's the state pricing for this
So
vehicle?
state pricing doesn't have this one anymore since it's a 25. We found
But I mean, what would be the 26?
in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, depending on which versions we're looking at, because there's different options available. So when we're looking at the most bang for the buck on the vehicles, they've got the base model, and you know some of the models that have extra items and features available. This one was a base model that we could get our hands on very quickly to get it upfitted, set up, and ready for the public.
Is it your intention is to go away from the trucks?
Yes, the intention now is to go for these Explorers and to use them similar, and to replace the ones that we have, the actual sedans that we have that are very outdated, and then of course some of the older Explorers that we have, to get those replaced with the GO bond funding.
Is this also replacing a vehicle currently in inventory?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And is this coming out of this year's budget or next year's?
So this is actually coming out of our 2019 series loan that we have, that we'll talk about when we get to the EDA side, but we do have funding set aside. We had $100,000 set aside for this project, so it's coming in well under budget, which we're very excited about.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Let's see, Ron has a question, and I have.
Ron, I'm sorry, could you step to the microphone, please?
Ron McCall, 3403 South Wolford. With my connections with the neighborhood watches, I have the privilege of talking with several of the officers from time to time, and there is mixed reviews as far as the sedan, the all-wheel drive, or the pickup. So it's not a cut and dry, oh, I want this or I want that. They're happy to have whatever they've got. But when you ask them individually, would you rather have this or that, you get mixed reviews. So pickup, all-wheel drive, you take your pick.
You know, my understanding with the trucks was a return on the investment at a future date.
Right.
And so when we were done with the vehicle, we were able to sell this vehicle off, actually get a return on our investment.
Yes, sir.
And the question becomes is what do we get with the Explorers?
It would not be near as high as we're going to get with the trucks.
And
Right.
so.
But the utility factor of this utility vehicle has some issues that outweigh the pickups.
Yeah, there's good and bad.
One of
with
the
everything.
things that first came up with the pickups is storage.
Yeah.
Also, another one, a big one, was what do you do when you arrest somebody and have to take them away? Getting some people into the back of that pickup. They had to even go in and enlarge that area that was encaged because of that. Shouldn't be a problem with an all-wheel. Now, I'm no expert, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, you know, this is some of the things that I've heard some of the officers say.
Thank you.
And then
I'll second the motion.
one of the questions or thoughts is that somebody told me, happens to be here, that he likes his Crown Vic from, the 2008 model.
Crown Vics
Whichever.
aren't available any longer.
And so, for comfort-wise, I mean, is the trucks, I've heard that the trucks have the problem of climbing in and climbing out or entering and exiting. I mean, compared to our current.
Feel free.
Yes, just your opinion, not the police's opinion, but if somebody happens to.
So, I know that going from the Tauruses that we had in 2013, 2014, they had some Tauruses, they had some, Explorers. They don't make the Tauruses anymore. So we went from getting the 23 model Explorers. The engines in those are very small. The acceleration is very slow. When we got the pickups, they have the all-wheel drive capability, but they also have the EcoBoost engine. So the acceleration, getting up to speed, getting where you need to go is much better. The first round of trucks that we ordered had the quarter cage in them, so they were a little difficult to get a larger person in the back seat. Second round that they ordered had the full cage in the back, which was great. They had eliminated that issue. They also came with the tonneau covers and the slides in the bed, so the storage was there. The issue I had with the truck, I had a truck before I left patrol, was trying to get turned around, trying to get through the neighborhoods. It was very difficult. It's quite a bit wider than the SUVs. You really can't do a U-turn in a truck. So in my opinion, the SUVs are great. If you can get one that has the EcoBoost engine so that you have the acceleration that's needed, it'd be where we need.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
I was reading on the backup documents, this has a 3-liter V6 EcoBoost. Is that what the truck has?
I believe the truck has a 3.5 liter EcoBoost. It's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
The Explorers that we have, the 23 models, I think it's a 2 liter, maybe it's quite a bit smaller.
I seconded the motion. I didn't know if
We have
were
a
done with
motion and a
discussion.
second.
All right, I need to amend mine because I didn't authorize the mayor and/or city manager to endorse any necessary documents.
I'll amend my second also to include that.
And then I think it's kind of a nice thing to go and try this other vehicle and get that in and see. And then, does this mean that the trucks have doubled in price? So, whenever we look at really replacing the fleet, we'd have an example of this one, the example of the truck, and then the cost, and we can make our decisions then. So, sounds great.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Motion passes. Item 13, appointments to the ACOG Board of Directors. Discussion, consideration, possible action to appoint the following council members to serve on the ACOG Board of Directions. Our voting member will be Claudia Brown, Ward 3 Councilwoman. Alternate 1 would be Greg Childers, the mayor. And alternate number 2 would be Pam Finch, Vice Mayor. This was requested by the mayors for an update. I'll entertain any motions.
I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
All right, Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Appointments, Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. We have two sections of this. We'll do number A first, discussion and consideration, possible action to list Greg Childers, the mayor, as the City of Del City voting member number 1, and Pam Finch, Vice Mayor, as voting member number 1 alternate for the Del City Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors per the contract between the city and the chamber. This was requested by the mayor.
I'll make a motion to approve 14A as written.
Second.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Motion passes. Section B, discussion, consideration, possible action to list J.D. Hawk, the city manager of the City of Del City, as voting member number 2, and Kyle Gandy, Economic Development Director, as voting member number 2, alternate for the Del City Chamber Commerce Board of Directors per the contract between the city and the chamber, requested by the mayor.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Motion passes. All right, I'll entertain a motion to suspend a regular council meeting and come back, go into the next portion of tonight's meeting, which would be the municipal services thing, DCMA, and come back to the council meeting for executive session after the rest of those are completed.
Make a motion that we recess to the Del City Municipal Services Authority.
Second.
All right. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye.
What?
All right, this is. You can. This is the Dale City Municipal Service Authority. Joe, will you call the roll, please?
Trustee Finch,
Here.
Trustee Brown,
Here.
Trustee Tatum.
Here.
I'm going to go with, since we haven't changed anything, Chairman Childers and Vice Chair Dean.
Here. All right. Man, let's see. Trust input. Anybody have any trust input?
I just wanted to bring up, and let me know if this is okay, at the fest, which was absolutely fabulous, I did see that we were using one of our knuckle booms to close off a side of the road, which was a really, really great idea, but it was on the whole time running. And I think that was, and I was there for a few hours, for a long time, and it was still on by the time I left. I have a video of it. But yeah, I was on from the time that I arrived to the time that I left. I could have jumped in there and drove it off. Just be teed up.
Thank you for not doing that.
I don't think I would have gotten arrested, but you know.
That could
you
have
never
been
know.
a safety thing to keep the hydraulics pressured up.
Well, that's what
If
I
you
was
turn 'em
thinking
off
too.
and the-
Maybe
and
it
the
was.
boom's up.
Because I know PD likes to leave their vehicles on in case, you know, they need to get in there and go somewhere really fast. I wasn't sure if the knuckle boom was going to go anywhere super fast, but you never know. That's true. Ready to go.
Thank you.
And I was going to, anybody else has any input? They're looking at new flyers and new stuff to put out to go and inform people about bulk trash, trying to get it on the right days and so forth. So that's one of the things that's being looked into. And as far as what Councilman Brown brought up is I have many diesels, and we have learned that the last thing that you really want to do is leave them idling for long periods of time, unlike previous things, especially if you have the new modern truck. So anyway, it would be nice to look into, make sure people are thinking correctly about which model they are driving and how long we leave things idling. All right. Moving on, manager's report.
Couple of items on sanitation. A reminder once again, Memorial Day is coming next Monday, which means no sanitation running that day. And I know this will be a topic on Facebook and phone calls on the day that we are not here, so letting everyone know, if your day is Monday, it becomes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in that order. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be Tuesday through Friday, just for the holiday week. And then it goes back to normal after that. So I do want to let everyone know, we understand it's a little bit confusing from time to time, but that does give the chance for our sanitation drivers and other members of our employment to be able to be home with their families on the Memorial Day. So we do appreciate your patience and understanding for that one. The second item to bring up is just as Chairman Dean was talking about, we are having them work on an awesome flyer and some notices of getting more information out about the bulk trash notifications and about what's going on with some of our dumpsters. A lot of people are having issues with their poly carts that are putting them out there and either overfilling them, things fall over because of the wind and all the different weather we've been having. So they are providing some information there, and they're going to be getting it out there to make sure that just as we're going to work with our customers, we are asking that the customers work with us. So please be on the lookout for those if you receive those slips in the coming days. I do want to give a shout out to Tracy and to Mike for putting together the awesome notifications that have been going out on Facebook of the Did You Know About Bulk Trash and the Did You Know About Sanitation polycarts, things of that nature. That is great. So thank you for getting those things out there. They're awesome graphics and awesome information for our citizens. Last but certainly not least, we did talk in the study session about what's going on with the different things in the utility bills, and a request has been made to do a utility billing audit of sorts. We are working on getting somebody to come in there and do that from the outside. It will not be internal, so more information will be coming on that as soon as we have it for you to vote officially as a trust. So please know that project is underway, and more information will be coming very soon to make sure we get everything perfect where it needs to be. From that, anything from the directors at this time? Okay, that's everything I have.
So, Mr. Manager, bringing up the flyers and stuff, is the 5 of us up here get to field a lot of the calls. with things that go out on these public notices. So before these things go out and get used, could we please have them reviewed by the MSA Trust?
Whenever you have your documents completed, if you'll shoot them to me and I'll get them over to our trust. Thank you.
All right, moving on. Okay, so consent docket. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the following items with unanimous consent with one motion. Item A, the minutes of the regular meeting of the DCMSA of May 4th, 2026. Item B, a blanket purchase order in the amount of $15,000 for electrical work at the wastewater treatment plant to Evans Enterprises Incorporated under account 20-536-524. And item C, renewal of annual contracts and agreements for fiscal year 27 as presented to the DCMSA in Exhibit A and on file with the city clerk. Authorized trust chair and/or the trust manager to endorse as required. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve A, B, and C as written. Item C, authorize trust chair and/or trust manager to endorse as required.
Second.
And take the vote. And Trustee Tatum?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Finch?
Aye.
And Chairman Childers?
Aye.
And Vice Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Disposal of records, utility billing. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny disposal of records as listed in Exhibit A of the trust agenda item pursuant to Oklahoma Statutes Title 11, Section 22-131. Do I hear a motion?
Can I make a motion that we have a discussion?
Yes.
Or just
Why don't we
discuss
go ahead
it? The only thing that I would suggest is, can we hold off until our audit? I mean, this is pretty soon, 2023. Do you think any of this information is going to be valuable to anything that we have moving forward with any questions that we have? It looks like here we're talking about cutoff registries, payment agreements, utility applications, the reads, meter reads from the past. Do you think any of that might be beneficial?
City Clerk, I'll pass that on to you.
Okay. So we have all of that aside from the actual applications for service electronically as well. So these are just the hard copies that we've printed off to make sure that we got it taken care of, that came back in, we mark it, say it's good to go, we throw it in a box. And it sits in that box for 2-3 years.
So it has been scanned in, and it is in the particular person's file of some sort, so you can pull it up.
I can pull them up, but they are not in a particular person's file per se or attached to the account. We do archive them on our server as if it's a termination or cutoff register, we archive it as cutoff registers, the date, and whether it's cycle 1, cycle 2, back in 23, it would have been zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4.
Perfect.
Yes, we can absolutely pull those up. Like I say, other than the physical application where the resident come in to start service, we do not have those.
And are those scanned in?
They can be.
Okay. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
All right, do I hear a motion?
Do we need a motion to end the discussion? Okay.
Then I would like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a second from Mr. Childers. All right, take the vote. Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Tatum?
Aye.
Trustee Childers?
Aye.
Trustee Finch?
Aye.
And Vice Chair votes aye. All right.
Thank you
Public
for
hearing.
answering those questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Public hearing, budget fiscal year 27. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny holding a public hearing regarding the Dale City Municipal Authority's budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027. And we'll open up the discussion. Mr. Manager?
Welcome back to another discussion. So we are talking about under your cheat sheet, DCMSA Fund number 20. That is our Municipal Services Authority. So this gives you some examples. As you get in, service charges specifically are where a majority of our funds come from, and we are taking it just shy of $9 million is the estimation of the service charges that we will receive for fiscal year 27. Miscellaneous services for not $498,000, and then transferring in for debt services. As you all may or may not be aware, in Fund 03, we do have a half a penny sales tax that is designed to bring down the cost or to pay for the wastewater plant from 2017. So that money does get transferred over, along with some of the capital outlay money, gets transferred over to pay off the 2 debts that we have with the OWRB. So you will see all that here, along with line items of sanitation, utilities, water line, water plant, et cetera, of each one of those costs. A reminder on those costs as you look down your list, those are without insurance. When you look on your actual budget books, you will see a higher amount of money because the insurance is included, but you will see under the cheat sheet where I have the $936,000 transferring out of this to go into the employee insurance lines. So a couple of things that you'll see here, as I discussed, the DCMSA is going to start funding half of the stormwater project. So that's $200,000 that'll get moved into the general fund to match up with the drainage and the stormwater funding that we receive there. And then we have our workers' comp, our insurance, all the things that are normal. You will see under debt service, whatever amount of money that I bring in from 03 is exactly the amount of money that we will spend on debt to make sure that we push that debt down as much as humanly possible. Just a reminder, both of those debts should be retired by 2033 because that seems to be the year back in the day what everybody chose. So slowly we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. I do want to make sure you all are aware, I do use 3-year averaging, so the amount of increases that we have done on the utility bills, and I know that'll be an item we'll discuss here further down the line, those items are not included in this amount because there were no utility increases during the 3 years that we had budgeted for. So while 8.99 million is what I have estimated, the goal, of course, is to always, under promise and over deliver on this one. So while we do estimate 8.99 million, you should see a far greater increase on that number in regards to our service charges based off of any of the utility increases that we have done.
Any questions? And so you said that we ended up with another employee in the DCMSA?
So we've had a couple of employee increases there, specifically on our water and sewer line department, where we've got them both up to 7 employees each. One was down to 4, and the other one was down to, I want to say 4 also. So now they're both going to be up to 7, so we'll have more folks that are able to work on water and sewer line infrastructure. Also, for those of you, just a reminder, your capital outlay fees that go that come out of your water bills for water and sewer, those capital outlay fees, that is the money that the workers use. It's not to pay for the workers, it's for the money that they use to purchase the piping and the tools and the things that are needed to actually replace the infrastructure underground. So that is where they get their funding from, so we greatly appreciate whenever we had to do that increase to be able to give them more funding available so they can work on our infrastructure. In addition to that, we are able to fund the additional mechanic for the fleet department. Right now, we're sitting at 3, and we'll be able to go back up to 4. Hopefully that will get us in a better place to be able to get everything back up and running faster. As you all know, whenever these sanitation trucks, especially the older ones, have gone down, sometimes they've gone down for hours, sometimes they've gone down for days, which have slowed services and things of that nature. So getting another mechanic in there to be able to work on that is a big deal for us that we are very appreciative for.
And let's see, so how much are we looking at transferring out to this part of the budget to the?
So the $1 million, so we do have a $1 million request just like we did last year to remove. So you'll see that at the very bottom under transfer to 01, you should see the $1 million under the word transfer 01 in red for profit. That money will flip over, and then as you can see, the transfer 01 for stormwater, that's for a project specific.
And so our budget should increase between hopefully not having to use the full $1 million to get transfer, plus the utility rates increases.
Yes, sir.
And get our big projects going and done. Okay. And speaking of which, during the year, as we're seeing the increases of the money coming in, we can re-budget do an updated budget, can't we?
Yes, so if we are just moving money around in the budget, that can be done by you guys. If I actually change the revenue amounts that are coming in, let's say I turn that 8.9 into 10.9 as a fake example, that would be what we have to put back on file with the state, because this budget will go on file with the state in July. And anytime that we make major modifications like that for major revenue or expenditure changes from the projected to actual, we'll have to go to the state. So that's the only thing to keep in mind, is you may have to quote unquote readopt the budget as we get closer to a number like that if we get there.
And that would be the way to do a bigger, do a project such as
Right.
like a clarifier or something.
Right. Just as an example, say we had money come in, as you all know, we're part of the PFAS lawsuits. We've already received one funding check from that. If we wanted to utilize that money same day, same time, that would be something we'd have to go back and change it, because I did not budget to get that check. We're excited to get it in, but if I want to go back and budget that I'm going to use that check this year, that would be where it would come from.
Okay. All right. Any questions? All right, moving on to
Oh, can we close the public hearing, please?
so we're going to close the public hearing. And moving down to item 8, appointments, chair and vice chair. Item 8A, discussion, consideration, and possible action to appoint Michael Dean, Ward 1 Councilman, to serve as chairperson of the Dale City Municipal Service Authority. And can we do 8B too? One at a time. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And taking the vote, Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Childers.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Tatum.
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
That being said, all water bill concerns, please call Michael Dean.
Yes, my wife did say, "What are you thinking?" And item 8B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to appoint Greg Childers, mayor, to serve as vice chair of the Dale City Municipal Service Authority.
Make a motion to approve?
And we need a second. Oh, Pam, they,
I'll second.
all right. We got it? All right, and taking the vote, and Trustee Tatum,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Childers,
Aye.
and Trustee Finch,
Aye.
and Chairman votes aye. Motion passes. Congratulations, Mayor Childers. All right. Moving on, resolution. Sewer rate adjustment. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve with modifications, or deny the resolution number 05182026A, repealing resolution number 09252025E, amending Appendix A, resolutions of the City of Dale City Code of Ordinances, Article 3, Sewer and Sewer, Section 3, Rates, adjusting rates for sewer services beginning June 1st, 2026, and January 1st, 2027, providing for an effective date, repeal of conflicting resolutions, providing for severability, authorize trust chair to endorse resolution, and direct staff accordingly. And I would suggest we open up a discussion. We don't need to.
Yeah,
No.
that works for us. Okay, so as we talked about in the study session and was brought to our attention at the last council meeting, we had some concerns what was going on here with the sewer rate adjustment. So the changes that have been brought forth to you all and some things to talk about are making sure that we still average. We are using the 80%. So if your water rate is $10, then your sewer rate starts at $8. So that is where the 80% documentation comes in from. But when it comes to actual charging of the price, instead of it being a fluctuating model, it would come in and be based off of an average of a 3-month period of time. In the past, it has always been November, December, and January. It was brought to our attention during that time that in November and December, when people have parties and have lots of folks over for holidays and things, that could also inflate your water usage. And so I will tell you, as the manager's recommendation, using January, February, March, as I recall, and please anybody in the audience tell me, does anyone water their yard or fill their pool in March?
Yep.
Truthfully?
Truthfully.
Truthfully, yeah.
March.
So
Absolutely.
that's kind of an option for everyone to discuss at this point. Do we want to keep it November, December, January? Do we want to be December, January, February? What 3 months would you like us to consider utilizing that gives everybody the best shot of this? With the understanding, I do want to put it out there, as we've always done in the past for anyone, whenever their sewer rate is averaged, if for some reason you had a high usage rate because of a water line bust or some sort of a slow leak that you were unaware of, we can always go back and adjust that on an individual basis. So please know, if you ever get into that situation and we're doing averaging, any one of the members of our utility clerk department or the city clerk or myself can discuss it with you and have that number double checked. We have had some occasions where, you know, somebody had a water leak in November and it went November, December, January. They discovered it late, got it fixed. Well, their water rates or their sewer rate becomes a 16 because of all the water that was used up during those timeframes. Those can go back and be adjusted. So please know, whatever month rates that we choose from, there's always extenuating circumstances we can look into. But on the average, what would be a month frame that you would like? And if you all decide to change from the November, December, January timeframe, that would be approved with modification on this resolution.
November, December, and January is what was done previously before any changes, correct?
Yes, and had been done historically with the city.
I'm okay with November, December, January.
Okay.
Do they have to be consecutive months?
Yes. Yeah. Joe, how would ENCODE work if we didn't do that? Yeah.
Does it have to be a 3-month average? Can it be a 2-month?
It can be whatever y'all choose it to be in the end.
All right.
There are, I don't know of any cities that do it on 2 months. I just honestly, I don't. We've always done 3 months here. I believe Midwest City is 3 months. Oklahoma City is volumetric, which means theirs kind of roll around a little bit. And so it's just a matter of how y'all want it to do. If you want it to be based on 2 months, you make the modifications and we change it to 2 months averaging.
Well, I propose everybody think about the 2-month average and make it September to October. That way you miss the holidays for people and you miss the swimming pool fillings in March and April or whatever.
But you still are watering in September.
Yeah, you're still watering.
So the best months with freezing is January and February. You don't have any, the holidays are over.
Okay, make it January and February.
And then, but with the freezing part, the pools aren't getting open. But as he said, March is on the cusp of getting started.
We can skip March.
As your manager who is doing the budget talks or whatever, I propose May, June, July. No? All right, I tried. Thank you, Jackie.
So there's those thoughts. Again, going to 2, and we got to see the different rates of the different people in January and February, and the reason why he threw out March out was as March was also showing up as a low month. But we definitely know that January and February are. So 2 sounds good. Then the other question for us to think about is he currently has this set to go into effect June 1st, which means everybody who has filled up their pools, everybody who has started watering their lawns between now and July, we're going to get fielded with many, many questions. As you saw, my sewer bill is going to go up dramatically, probably about $100. And so I propose that we make this effective April 1st, finish up March and make it effective April 1st.
I like the fact of the November, December, January for the fact that you're not watering lawns, you're not filling up pools. I mean, I know that there is some holiday guests coming in, but in order to really affect the water rates or the sewer rates, it's going to have to be, you're going to have 15, 20, 30 guests.
I don't want to overcomplicate and just do what we used to do, November, December, January. And that's just what it is, not, move it around. Of course, we have already been told that if you do have a personal issue, you can call and discuss that.
So the November and December is I have lots of visitors, lots of things. You do use a lot of water. You also have the holidays, this part that goes into effect. You know, it's just that you shouldn't have holiday visitors, you shouldn't have holiday times, and that's, you know, the January, February takes care of that.
Joe, tell me.
Can you?
In November, I'm Jim Hightower, 3221 Epperly. In November, were there extra days and stuff added in from?
From the best of my understanding, I was not deeply involved. I could pull the count and look, but yes, at some point in time during the tail end of last year, they were billing with additional days, and then they went into, right before January, I believe,
That's right.
they went to like a 2-week bill as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I think there was some bills in that time frame that had like 42 days, maybe 45, I'm not sure.
Right.
So, but yeah,
So that's-
you do
those-
take the chance of those months affecting.
November, December, those months are skewed because of that. So we need to look at, and I don't know what the answer is.
And do we have an expert at our meter reading software? Can we just go in and ask about my house between January 1st and February 28th?
Absolutely, I can pull those readings up.
So then the bill really wouldn't make a difference, you know, whether or not there was more on that bill or not, because we're not looking at the bill usage. You would be pulling it off of the new high-tech meter reading.
Yes, sir.
So multiple months or the multiple, or, you know, or the additional weeks to catch up that we were having would not apply.
Hi, Ron.
Hi there. Ron McCall, 3403 South Fork. I'm really going to complicate things here.
Uh-oh.
We're in the AI time zone, right? We can do anything we want to with these computers, right?
Yep.
How about making it on an individual deal? You get to pick 3 months, or the computer picks 3 of your lowest months of usage. Use that as your average. There you go.
Does Encode have that capability?
I can look into it, but I cannot say yes or no right at this moment. I have no clue.
Boo.
And tell me why, again, so right now, we have it to where, how are we currently averaging to, as the reason why we're wanting to change to go back to where it was? Because what it was is too much, people don't like it.
So the way it was designed now is it would fluctuate. Your sewer rate will fluctuate just like your water does. So every time you turn on the tap, we assume it's going into the sewer, 80% worth of that. So we would presume 80% usage is the number that we had come up with, or what I had come up with in this particular instance. And so whenever you started pushing that, you're seeing a lot more sewer usage. So someone who waters their yard, where the water is not necessarily hitting our sewer, and it's actually being absorbed into the ground, irrigation, all those wonderful things that may be happening, they're having to pay a very enhanced sewer rate for something that didn't hit the sewer. Whereas if they go back to the 3-month averaging, that would be a safer time frame for them to be able to pay the rate of basically what actually goes into the sewer versus what does not.
Ms. Brown, I think what your question was is, why are we having to have this discussion and changing things around? And so this started off with the problem of the description on Exhibit A that tells it was confusing.
And because we originally thought that we were going to stay with the
average.
November, December,
it wasn't.
January.
It wasn't
I remember having that conversation was had, and at that time it was November, December, January. That's what we thought. That's how we always believed that it was going to be until we found out that it's not. So, again, let's just go back to November, December, January. There's always going to be a month for any individual that may be higher or not. Everybody's different. We all have different families. Somebody's always going to have 1 month that is going to be higher than the other. But that's why we're averaging. And using the November, December, January, I think is going to be the best. It's what we've always done. Keep it the way that we've done it before, November, December, January.
At our study session, we proved that the November, December, and January were higher usage months.
But we also used people that are not your average users. You know, we were looking at some accounts that aren't your normal average, you know, users. Obviously, we have some people with bigger homes, with a lot more company, or with bigger yards. Not everybody is going to be in that. One of the other ones that we looked at, it was high because somebody had a leak during that November, December timeframe. And I think that we looked at another account, and I forgot what the issue was, but there was also another issue that happened. Again, there's always going to be someone that is going to be unhappy. We are not going to be able to make everyone happy.
And my final suggestion is that the sewer rate increase is dramatic. And if we can do anything to keep it lower for our people, which again, I would absolutely say January and February, the 2-month average of that would make things less expensive on our constituents.
So I actually pulled my water bill out because y'all have seen my desk. I have it all on my desk. 2024. And I pulled out the one I just received today. I did not see much change at all. It was maybe $1 or $2 off. I mean, everything is more expensive. I can deal with $1 or $2. So I can't see that it's that much more drastic as it was back in 2024.
As the chairman calls for an auditing.
So, okay, so anyway, why don't we move on from this part? We can make the decision about the months. The other part is about when to go and put it into effect. So again, do you want to charge people who were not expecting this, dramatic change to the swimming pool, for filling swimming pools, for watering lawns?
Is staff able to go back and fix it from April 1 to now, or is that an in-code process or a problem?
So the fluctuating charge was only for this last month. That's it. It hasn't been since January. It was only for last month's bill, the bill they just received. So that was printed this month. So cycle 1 received or cycle 2's received their, cycle 1's fixing to get theirs. Theirs just printed out Friday under the rolling rules, so we'll call it. It can be done. It will be time consuming to go into all 8,000 plus accounts and to figure what it should have been based on an average as opposed to what it should have been or what it was based on volumetric as due to the Scribner's error on the originally approved one. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it can be done. It will just take some time. And so as long as everybody's not expecting them to see a credit on their account by 5 o'clock tomorrow, and can bear with us, we can absolutely get it done.
But you could get it done for this next, for May's bill.
Yes, that is why we're looking to have the effective date as June 1.
Right, June 1, June 1 would still charge you for May. So what I'm saying is can we change it now and have it effective for the May usage?
We can. Okay, I see where you're at. When I picked June 1, I'm sorry, I picked it based on the date of the bill, not necessarily the use. So date of the bill, June 1, we change it, boom, it automatically, we are going to, the system's going to automatically change. I mean, I can go in, I can click a few buttons, and it's back on average. And so their May bill would be averaged. That's where I said June 1, so that we would jump on that and not have to go and figure. I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's not looking at when the bill is, that's just when the bill goes out.
Correct. It would be the bills that go out in June for the use in May. If we want to back it up and say May 1, so that it looks cleaner and less complicated or confusing, that's the word, then we can absolutely do that too. That's fine. I got no problem with it.
And you did say so for November, December, I believe, or I think it was only in November where we had to add some dates, or was it November and December?
I honestly don't know right without going back and looking at an account and checking the billing dates. I do know it was towards the end of the last calendar year, and so I don't know if it was just 1 month, 2 months. I honestly don't know. I was not deeply involved in that part of it.
So let's go ahead and scrub 2026. By the time 2027 comes around, it'll be back on track to where we're not going to have to go back and, reverse some dates and take some dates away.
Correct.
By 2027, we will have a better idea and a better direction, or we'll be more clear. We're not going to be taking anything away. Right now, we're having to obviously fix some things, but by 2027, even doing the November, December, January, we're going to get back to the way it was.
Yes, ma'am.
And where do the sewer rate fees go? What do they go towards?
The sewer itself will go towards partially to cover the expense of our employees and then everything that the work they would do, their materials, their.
Anything go to the water treatment plant as well, or that's most of that?
I mean, all of it kind of gets combined into the budget.
Yeah.
All the sewer fees would go to the wastewater plant, the sewer line maintenance division.
And we obviously need to continue to fund it appropriately.
I have two recommendations if I could on this.
Yes.
So I don't think legally we necessarily want to open the can of worms of trying to make this retroactive. I think June 1st, because June 1st is the billing date. Now, how he calculates that is subject to interpretation. But I think the June 1st date would be the most effective date to do it. And I believe that the January, February would be the most effective date when we talk about 45-day billing in November, and it would also all be in this year. So I think to move forward from this point, the most sense would be average January, February, effective June 1st.
June 1st to take care of the May usage.
Yes.
And is this clear enough to where we don't have a legal question in the future? Wait, you said.
Yep, no.
Starting June 1st.
No, no, sir. Effective June 1 to me means that you guys are going to, if y'all approve this tonight, then no later than June 1st, I'm to change that. So I'm going to end up changing it tomorrow because the bills for May have already been sent out.
And I think we can all live with the April ones. And technically, if there is a dramatic problem, we can have, there's ways to go around it.
Anybody is more than welcome to come in. We can sit down.
Discuss
and
any
discuss
serious
it
problem,
and
any
see-
serious problem.
Yes, sir, and see what we can do to satisfy our residents. Yes.
All right, so this was all caused because of, as I call it, a scrivener's error. So I want you to take a look at your iPads, which I don't have, but luckily I typed it out and did this last night. So what is 80% of the sewer rate increase? What does that mean? And so my thing is I suggest that we change the wording that's on there to the following. In just a second, So instead of having this 80% of the sewer rate increase, and he has this already sent to him, each account sewer charge shall be the sum of the meter size base rate below, plus any water consumption above 2,000 gallons. The charge above the base rate, included 2,000 gallons, shall be fixed yearly at 80% of the average monthly consumption from January through February. That's if we pass it that way. For the average monthly consumption for January and February, multiplied by the rate below. So then I have an example. So everybody who pulls up the page can actually see it. A house with an average water consumption of January through March is 5,000 gallons. 80% of 5,000 gallons is 4,000 gallons, which is 2,000 gallons above the base included volume. For each month of the following year, their sewer charge will be $15.90 plus 2,000 gallons, or 2 times $6.35 for $28.60. That way, everybody has a clear expectation of how it's done to get your sewer rate charge. So I'm going to make a motion that we modify the resolution with that wording, make the dates for the average monthly consumption being January and February, and leaving the effective date June 1st for the May consumption. And that's my motion.
I'll second that.
Does that sound good? The wording is just the same exhibit thing that got us all screwed up in the first place. So that's why I did place it down so that you can understand it. And with the example, and I'm not trying to be rude, but the example actually shows what your rate would be and spells it out with actual pulling it out of the chart. All right, and motion is second. Any discussions? Taking the vote. Councilman Finch?
No.
There's no. Trustee Childers?
Aye.
Trustee Brown? Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Tatum?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. And resolution passes. It's resolution, again, 051826A. And the second was? So
Who seconded the motion? Okay. Thank you, sir. I missed that.
All right. Taking the item 9B, which is the emergency. So discussion, consideration, possible action to approve modifications, or deny an emergency clause contained in resolution number 05182026A, and authorize trust chair or to endorse resolution and direct staff accordingly. This is needed because this is going to seriously impact, if we don't do this, this is going to seriously impact the budgets of our citizens. All right, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the emergency clause contained in resolution number 05182026A, and authorize trust chair to endorse resolution and direct staff accordingly.
Second.
All right, got a motion and second, and any discussions? Taking the vote. Trustee Tatum?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Childers?
Aye.
Trustee Finch?
No.
Trustee Dean votes aye. Resolution passes. All right, resolution for the bulk waste. Discussing consideration, possible action to approve with modifications, or deny resolution number 05182026B for Bravo, amending section 2.3 bulk waste, section 1, volume and charges of article 4, garbage and billing of appendix A, resolution to the Municipal Services Authority, reducing the amount charged for additional cubic yards, providing for an effective date, and providing for a repeal of conflicting resolutions and severability. Authorize chair to endorse the resolution, direct staff accordingly. All right, Ms. Manager, you want?
This one should be the simple one. This is taking that number from $15 for each additional cubic yard outside of the 4 cubic yards. For those of you keeping track at home, a cubic yard is supposed to be the size of one standard washing machine, if you remember all of our awesome graphics that we have. So in excess of 4, it would be $15 for each additional cubic yard. So if we drive by the home, we can pick up all of it and not have to wait and have to go back and come up with a plan, that kind of a thing. This will bring that number from $15 back to 10. And Tracy, this is based off of research and seeing that the other cities around us or whatever in comparison do not have it as high as $15. The 10 is more appropriate for an average.
In January, we had 20 total locations that had more than 4 cubic yards, just 20.
Can you turn on the green?
Yeah, is it on? Sorry, okay. Yeah, we had 20 total locations in January that had over 4 cubic yards. 19 of them had 1 yard over, and one location had 2 yards over. We collected a total of $315 in January. In February, 11 locations had over 4. 180 total is what we collected. 7 locations had 1 yard over, 2 locations 2 yards over. And in March was our biggest year because, people are starting their spring cleaning. We still only collected $735, 27 locations. Only 1 location with 4 yards over. It's a minimal impact on the money we bring in, but I think it's a big impact for the citizens.
And what this will also do is just to reemphasize that we're going back to $10 for every additional cubic yard, and it will be an automatic pickup. It won't be where we see it. We've had multiple call-ins where the vehicle drives by, sees that it is in far excess of the normal amount that we're allowed to pick up, and they have to go back to the office. Someone has to get a hold of the homeowner. It has a long rigmarole. This will be, we pick it all up, we put the additional charge onto the water bill, and that'll be a conversation that can be had at that time if there is one.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
So this makes it easier on, one, getting the trash picked up first time and out of here. It's reduced the amount charged, because again, now you're looking up to $40 being added to your water bill. And so, the bill's not going to be dramatically jumped up to $60. Hopefully $40 would be good. And then the final reason about doing this, besides the other cities, is we're charged by a per ton basis when we go and take this bulk trash in. And so the number's actually less than $30 for a ton. So if you think about the laundry machine, or how do you put it, the appliance, one washing machine, if you can get a ton into that thing, you can't. It's very difficult for this bulk trash to weigh that amount. And so it should not be a financial burden to pick up this extra stuff, especially with a $10 compensation. So you went through, and so, Tracy, have we ever had very many above 8? The only question I've got about this ordinance is the above 8s, we stop what we're doing and we don't pick up anything.
So the reason why once it went past the doubling amount is, it is as we can see from whenever the bill increases $1 or $2, when you add up to $40 onto a charge, anything past 40 could potentially double someone's bill, because 40 could double the bill as it is for those of us that only have $40, $50 water bills. So to add an extra 40 if they were to go into excess, some people have taken their entire lawn. I mean, Hatfield's that the nice way to put it. They've covered their entire lawn with bulk trash in times past to have collected, and if it gets to that section, to have to charge, $100, $200 or whatever, could be a big problem. So that's why we had stopped at that. So we only see that on the rare occasion, but it was more of a safeguard in place to prevent that. That would probably be a call from code enforcement or a special pickup plan, a drop off of a 30-foot or 40-foot or 40.
State on the website is anything over 9 cubic yards, give us a call. Here's the number. We'll get you a roll-off for those really, really large ones.
Okay.
Everybody good? All right. I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item 9B, resolution number 05182026. A?
B.
A, is that correct?
B.
B. Correction, resolution number 05182026B, and authorize trust chair to endorse resolution and direct staff accordingly.
Second.
All right. Motion is second. Any discussions? Taking the vote. Trustee Tatum.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Childers.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
And Trustee Dean votes aye as well. Motion passes. All right, item 9B, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve with modifications to deny an emergency clause contained in item number 05182026B. And authorize trust chair to endorse resolution and direct staff accordingly. Do I hear a motion?
Make a approve.
And authorize just
Be as written and authorized trust manager
chair.
as trust chair to endorse resolution and direct staff accordingly.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Taking the vote. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Childers. Trustee Tatum.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
And chairman votes aye. Motion passes. Any other trust input?
I would like to make a motion that we adjourn to the DCEDA.
Second.
Motion is second. Take the vote. Did you vote seconded, Pam?
Huh?
You seconded?
Yes.
Okay. And taking the vote, Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Tatum.
Aye.
Trustee Childers.
Aye.
And chairman votes aye. We're adjourned.
This is the DCEDA of May 18th, 2026. Joe, will you please call roll?
Trustee Dean?
Here.
Trustee Childers? Trustee Brown?
Here.
Trustee Tatum?
Here.
Chairwoman Finch?
Here. Item 3, trust input. Seeing none, moving on to item 4, manager report and department reports.
Couple of items for everybody. Thank you all for they were able to come to the coffee connection at Barnes Frederick Pope that was hosted by the chamber. It's not working. Sorry, stopping point. The air conditioning is not working, which would explain why we're all overheated. So thank you all for trying, and you're getting a hold of the right people. Got it. Wonderful. Perfect for a budget discussion. So thank you all for coming to the Coffee Connection at Barnes Frederick Pope. We greatly appreciate that, and we greatly appreciate them hosting that on the 7th of May. Couple of other items that are coming up. We had a great talk between the mayor and Ward 4 and the Chamber of Commerce about potentially doing a barbecue festival in the coming days, week, months. So we are looking forward to that. So if those of you that want to help out with something, when you start seeing that showing up on the Chamber's committee pages, looking for volunteers and people to assist with that, we are very excited about that potential being something that we add to Del City and potentially to Rose Lane. That would be an awesome place to host it. Kyle has already updated us on what's going on with the welcome signage, but just know that project is underway. And now the park purchase project. There we go, yeah. The park purchase project that we talked about at the study session. We have gotten a hold of our real estate agent. He is going around and checking on the areas that we had discussed, and he will get us some items from their real estate agent back to you all for you to review, and that'll be happening in the first meeting in June. So I want to let you know that process is underway for us to consider those processes. And that is all I have. Kyle, anything additional for the EDA?
Super quick.
Billy, start the clock.
I'll be quick. First, I didn't get to thank Josh while he was here. I wanted to do that from the EDA standpoint. Thank you, Josh. Great job. This was one of my favorite parades, if not my favorite parade at this point. I want to let everyone know that's listening, and for all of you, all of the photos from Saturday are posted to Facebook, so you can get on there and check them out, find your face, your smiling face, most of you. And then last but not least, this week is ICSC Las Vegas. That is the largest retail conference in the world. It is international, and there are at least 5 people there representing the city of Del City. And I've already had at least one phone call, and we've got some good promise from the retail front heading this direction. So things are looking up for Del City.
Signs are up already for our property on 15th?
Yes, so if you go down 15th Street, you can look at 5213. We are being represented at that property in ICSC by Sooner Investments. They're representing 5519, as well as a couple of other properties that I don't know if there are signs there yet, but many properties being represented in Del City there. So.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
And that's everything, ma'am.
Thank you, Judy. Item 5, minutes, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve minutes of the regular meeting of DCEDA of May 4th, 2026.
Make a motion, we approve as written.
Second.
Any discussion? Take a vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Tatum. Trustee Childers. Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Item 6, public hearing, budget fiscal year 27. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve or deny holding a public hearing regarding the Del City Economic Development Authority. Budget for fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2027.
Open the public hearing, we're good?
Let's open our public hearing.
Done. Okay, just a reminder on the DCEDA, this is officially where we incur our debt as I speak on every year. This would be Fund 02. And so you can see the 3 major debts that we have on your cheat sheet to go quickly. Item 1 is the Series 2019 note. Just so you remember, that is the $12.5 million we took out at the first meeting in April in 2019 that was used to build the library and some other major areas that we are still paying off. You can see that noted here where we have $770,000 that goes into that to pay off that debt every year. And we currently owe about $4.5 million, somewhere in that range on it, Joe. So you will see that paid off by 2033, which was the plan. In addition to there, you'll also see this is where our TIF comes out of. So TIF number 1 is the $750,000 some odd dollars that comes out for the Sooner Road area, so everything from Buffalo Wild Wings, Ted Escondido's, all the way down to Discount Tire, all of that area was in the TIF that was established in 2008, so that is where we get the money from for there. And just so you see on the cheat sheet, I have them flipped. So TIF number 1 is the $750, and last but not least is the Scott Street note of $240,000 that we pay for the Scott Street loan that we've had since 2015. So that is where that comes from. All the funding that you see either comes out of 01 or 03, all the special sales tax and things that were voted on by the people to pay off these debts. The one thing I do want to bring to your attention is you will see they have a reserve loan balance of about $630,000. That is the money we still have left over from the 2019 loan that we are using to do all of the infrastructure upgrades to the wastewater treatment plant, purchasing items like you all had done tonight for the police vehicle, small things that we can do. So we're trying to take the small amount of money we have left in that loan balance and be able to do the most bang with that particular buck. The only other item I want to bring up for the EDA is when we're talking about these restricted funds and these special sales taxes, the biggest thing I want to remind you on things like neighborhood enhancement, which is Fund 35, is if we're working on a special project in the neighborhood, I will bring you all a resolution that declares a neighborhood enhancement project, all the specifications, things, to ensure that we meet the taxation law that's required for that. Whereas it's Fund 34, Economic Development, as a reminder, if it brings in tourism, if it brings in additional sales tax dollars, if it brings in new retail, new business, new goals, new housing additions, anything like that, that's where that money can be opened up to. So one example I do want to tell you is like the right-of-ways and easements. As Walter Jacks, I guess he's already gone home, has already mentioned to us, he wants to see those things beautified, cleaned up, things of that nature. Small portions of our money can be used in those areas, and that's what we're trying to do is unlock it. So where we can't really use this money for employees per se, we can use them for projects and special one-time costs. So you're going to see a lot of those popping up in there, and you can see those are the ones that do have larger reserve balances because of their limitations. And that is all I have.
JD, how much longer do we have on the Sooner Road TIF district?
2033, everything is 2033. It's weird. I don't know if that was planned or if it just all magically happened that way, but the temporary sales tax is 2033, the Scott Street loan is 2033, the 2019 loan is 2033. It all hits at the same time. So 2033 is going to be a hell of a year if we can get there.
Do we have on the library loan and the different stuff, is there a way to pay that one back ahead of time? Or is there any,
The 2019 loan can be paid off earlier, yes.
can be paid off early?
Yeah, and we owe about the $4.5 million. So there is a probability that we could take some of this money if we had excess to be able to pay that down quicker.
And is there a way to get kind of the amount of principal and interest we're paying each year on it?
Yes, we can send you that debt. I thought we gave them that at the previous date. If not, we can get one.
I can definitely pull it up again.
Perfect. Thank you. Bless you.
All right. Any other questions? Nothing? All right, let's close the public hearing. Item 7, appointments, chair and vice chair. A, discussion, consideration, and possible action to reappoint Pam Finch, which I just want to let y'all know, I have not went anywhere. I've been sitting here for a while. Ward 2, councilwoman, to continue serving as the chairperson of the Dale City Economic Development Authority.
Make a motion to approve item A.
Second. Take a vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. Aye. Trustee Tatum.
Aye.
Trustee Childers.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Item B, discussion, consideration, possible action to appoint Scott Tatum, Ward 4 Councilman, to serve as Vice Chair of the Dale City Economic Development Authority, requested by Mayor Greg Childers.
Make a motion that we approve item 7B.
Second.
Take a vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Childers.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. Aye. Trustee Tatum.
Abstain?
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Item 8, any other trust input?
So just so we're clear, if you have problems with your water bill, you call Michael, and if someone's indebted, it's Pam. This works out pretty well, doesn't it? So whoa.
Does everybody have Mike's cell phone number?
Just call me. I'll make sure you have it. Okay. I need an adjournment back to City Council.
Wait, we got,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, I make a motion that we adjourn to the
OMRF.
OMRF.
Oh, second. I forgot we have another one. I need a second.
We're trying to go fast.
All right, call the order.
Actually, we
I
need to
need a
vote on
second.
that.
Oh, second. Sorry, excuse me.
Okay, take a vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Childers.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. Aye. Trustee Tatum. Chair votes aye.
All right. Call the order of OMRF. Item number 1, call order. Roll call. Item number 2.
He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Trustee Dean?
Here.
Let's get her
Trustee
done.
Finch?
Here.
Trustee Brown?
Here.
Trustee Tatum?
Here?
Chairman Childers?
Here. All right. Item number 3, committee input. Nobody has anything. All right. Item number 4, minutes, discuss and consideration, possible action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the OMRF of March 16th.
Make a motion to approve as written.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Number 5, appointments, chair and vice chair. Item number A, discussion, consideration, possible action to appoint Scott Tatum, Ward 4 councilman, to serve as the chairperson of the OMRF for the city of Dale City, requested by the Mayor Greg Childers. We'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Abstain?
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Congratulations, Mr. Tatum. You'll get to chair next round. Yeah. All right, item B, discussion, consideration, possible action to appoint Greg Childer as mayor to serve as the vice chair of the OMRF for the city of Dell City, requested by me.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. All right, item number 6, committee input. Anybody have anything?
No.
Make a motion.
I want to make a motion to adjourn to the regular city council meeting. Thank you.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn to back to the regular council meeting. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. All right, we are gaveling back into our city council meeting. Item number 15 would be executive session. Discussion, consideration, possible action, if any, to approve recessing executive session pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act, Oklahoma Statutes Title 25, Section 301, for the purpose of discussion concerning the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of, including but not limited to, the city attorney pursuant to Oklahoma Statutes Title 25, Section 307, requested by the city manager, J.D. Hawk. That sounds serious. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Can we ask,
Mr. Attorney, does
Yeah,
this?
It's good. We're good.
it's good.
Let's
Make
do
a
it.
motion that we adjourn to the executive session.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Off we go.
I make a motion that we return from executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
I'm getting there, hang on. Getting back to where I was.
The rat's getting hungry.
All right, action from the executive session,
We-
discussion.
We need the result from the vote and your vote. Then we need the result from the vote and Greg's vote. The Cheeto got you.
Mayor votes aye.
I tried.
Cross the Ts. Gives it. No doubt. You're not wrong. Action from executive session, discussion, consideration, possible action deemed appropriate, if any, arising from discussions held in executive session.
Make a motion, we proceed to discuss.
Second.
Authorize mayor to endorse same. Authorize mayor.
I thought we had a contract too. So why would we be authorizing the mayor to do anything?
It's here.
Yeah, but I think that's a mistake. Oh.
You really just have 17.
So am I right? You're right. I am correct. Motion stands.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Item number 17, renewal of professional services contract with the city attorney.
I make a
Entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve
Second.
and authorize city manager and mayor to endorse the same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye.
Dang, bro, you could've
It
asked for a
passes.
giant raise and it would've been quick, you know?
Item number 18, council input. Does anybody have anything else to say? Michael, are you sure?
I could bring some more.
Thank you, Billy, for sticking around, and tell Sherry we love that she's going to be here another year.
Just for the record, though, the next time we have one of these and it's a playoff game, I'm probably going to be even sicker than I am today.
We're going to have a chat with JD about maintaining the Thunder schedule along with city council meetings. You knew this was coming.
I was like, the mayor has the power to veto my agenda, so we could have made this quick.
Now you tell me.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn and a second. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
We are adjourned.